Hello, welcome to Access. I'm Rob. Joining us is Holly.
Hey guys.
We're here at E3, and today we saw a gameplay presentation of Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Yes.
Now, this is an interesting video because I've not played Life is Strange. You've gone so far as to say it's one of your favourite games of all time.
Honestly, it moved me, and I get emotional even thinking about it. It's such a good game.
And so we've put a list together of 6 things you need to know about Life is Strange, or 6 things that are very important about the game.
Yes.
The first point, I think, is essential, and we should talk about it very quickly.
Yeah, because it's good for everyone, really.
Yes.
So Life is Strange Before the Storm is set 3 years before Life is Strange, but the stories don't lead into each other, which means they're totally separate. So if you haven't played the first one, and if you're watching this video at the time it went live, you should, because Life is Strange is currently free on PlayStation Plus, so you should actually pick it up and play it.
I'm going to do that.
And you really should.
Yeah.
But don't worry if you haven't. If you're thinking about getting into this one, the stories aren't connected. They're just in the same world.
And we are going to see some recurring characters.
Yeah.
But the key thing they pointed out was that if you play Before the Storm, before you play Life is Strange, you won't get any spoilers for Life is Strange, and vice versa. So if you play, it doesn't matter which order you play them in, basically, you won't get spoilers for the other one.
Which is really important.
Really crucial.
Especially in a story-led game.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't want everything spoiled before you play it, because that kind of sucks.
So what have you got next for us, Holly?
So point number 2 is that this game features Chloe and a girl called Rachel.
Right.
Now, Chloe features in Life is Strange. She is one of the 2 main characters. Now, Rachel features in Life is Strange, but I can't really tell you any more than that because she's quite pinnacle to the story in the way that she's featured.
Right.
But this time, there's no
spoilers
Max.
here.
Yeah, there's no Max because she was really the heroine of Life is Strange.
Yeah.
She's not around. This is about the developing friendship of Chloe and Rachel, which is so important to Life is Strange. It's all about these 2 girls, and we've already seen some really emotional scenes where you can see how the 2 of them begin to develop.
Yeah, I mean their friendship is not plain sailing.
No, and that's what this is going to focus on. And anyone who played Life is Strange knows that it's a really hard-hitting game.
I mean, it explores some of the themes that anyone who's gone through their teenage years will really relate to. And being a teenager is hard.
I never want to go back. No. That sucked. Anyway, point number 3. Now, for those of you who've played Life is Strange, the game had a rewind mechanic. It was like Max's special power. So if you made the wrong choice, you simply held down the button and rewound it until you sort of got it to play out the way you want.
Right.
Now, that was special. That's what made Max special.
Yep.
Chloe never had this power, and she's not going to in Before the Storm. She's going to have no power.
So you're stuck with your choices, basically.
There is no rewinding. What you've done sticks. So before, it's like, I think I was doing 1 bit in Life is Strange, and I did it honestly, I was live streaming it. I did it 8 or 9 times till I got the outcome I wanted. There's no doing this. Everything is final.
Which makes it, I think, more tense when you get those situations where you have to make that split-second choice. And it was explained to us that the choices you make will have short-term consequences, but they will also have unforeseen long-term consequences.
Yes.
And we were making some quite haphazard choices.
You were making.
I was shouting from the back of the room, steal it!
Seriously.
Insult him! Attack him!
Look, seriously, we're in a room full of other press, and it's given all these options, and Rob is literally from the back picking the most aggressive of all the life choices.
Just push the game. I want to see where it could go.
And they did. They listened to Rob.
Yeah, they
did. For better or for worse.
Never listen to me.
Anyway, point number 4. Now, this is Arcadia Bay.
Yes.
So, Life is Strange is set in Arcadia Bay.
Right.
And what they wanted to hammer home with Life is Strange Before the Storm is that you're going to see some places you recognize, such as the Lookout, which is hugely important in Life is Strange, Blackwell Academy, the school, and the junkyard that you visit. All of these are in Life is Strange Before the Storm, plus some new bits. We saw a bit of a rock concert.
Yeah.
There's some reoccurring characters as well. So the 2 match, but it doesn't feel like a rehash because it's done in such a different way and seen from a different point of view. So it's comforting to return, but it doesn't feel copy-paste.
Which is what the fans wanted, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit of everything.
The fans wanted more of that world, more of that universe, but also new story.
Also new.
Yeah, so there you go.
They've managed to do it, which is kind of super important. So point number 5 is about graffiti.
Yeah, now this was, because Max, obviously, her thing was photography.
Yes.
And Chloe's thing is vandalism,
It's basically
apparently.
vandalism. So for those of you who are trophy hunters in Life is Strange, you remember having to find all of the photo opportunities for Max to collect. This time you're finding things to vandalize.
Yeah.
I know it's not a huge point, but I know Life is Strange fans will appreciate it's just that Chloe-ness.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of extra storytelling, isn't it,
Yeah.
within your actions? Like, Chloe's a bit of a rebel, from what I got from
you're not wrong.
from the demo that we saw today. You know, she's got some, hardships that she's going through, obviously, very hard things. And how she deals with that is, integral to the story. But also just a little show of her rebelliousness by, like, graffitiing some stuff. It's just, it's a cool game thing, as in you've got to graffiti all the things, but also it helps to tell the story of Chloe's character, which is cool.
And also, in this particular case, a bit of humour. And when things can get quite dark, and Life is Strange can get very heavy, that's what makes it so emotional. So that little bit of Chloe humour just helps to keep it quite light.
Yeah.
So I did like it.
And what is the final point, Holly?
So the final one is music. Now this is really hard to describe to people. Life is Strange possibly has one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. And that's coming from a Final Fantasy fan. It's not symphonic, it's not orchestrated. It is well-known or sometimes lesser well-known pieces of music from all kinds of bands.
So it's a licensed soundtrack?
It's a completely licensed soundtrack, and it is, Life is Strange is one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. It genuinely transports you back to being in high school, back to being through all those struggles.
Well, that's like the power of that kind of music, isn't it?
Stunning.
And the best way to make you remember those kind of times is through the music you were listening to.
But honestly, even the beginning, anyone who's thinking about picking up Life is Strange after watching this, it starts with a particular track kicking in as you put your headphones in to walk through a school. And in that moment, you're back and you're in high school and everything feels familiar.
Yeah.
And they've promised that this soundtrack is going to be no different. Again, I know that's a really loose point if you're not a Life is Strange fan, but if you are, even some of the music we were already hearing, they've promised, again, well-known bands and some lesser-known music to discover. It's exactly what you expect from Life is Strange.
Man, I need to get the first game played, I think.
You do.
I do indeed.
Free on the PlayStation Store. The first episode is free on the PlayStation Store.
Excellent.
And then episodes 2 to 5 are currently, if you're watching this when it's gone live, on PlayStation Plus. It will be 3 episodes long before the storm, where original Life is Strange was 5.
Yeah.
Roughly 6 to 9 hours of gameplay.
It's looking
in total.
cool. Well, thank you very much, Holly, for taking us through those 6 points. I'm now very excited to go and play Life is Strange and Before the Storm. Let us know in the comments what you think of the game. Are you excited to play as Chloe? Holly is.
Yes.
And please do stick with us all week because we've got absolutely loads more coming up from E3.